right? So for those who weren't listening, like Jeremy, right? All right, right. So these are the types of transformations, and we need to be able to um go from the object to the image in each one, right? How to go from here to here using the matrices. So to do a translation easy, you add the translation to the point, and then you get the image. Right? Again, this is your object, and there's the image. Right? But the addition only works for translation, right? All the others, you have to follow number 2. Right? How do I get the image? Right? How do I get the image from the object? I multiply the transformation matrix by the object to get the image. So multiply this by this to get this. Okay? Right? And as someone was saying, if you want to get back the object, find the inverse. Let's call it t. Find the inverse of t and multiply it by the image. All right? So take your time, multiply row by column, and you will get the image. That's okay? All right, so I am going to give you the list of all the matrices now. What sadly you have to do? Because sometimes they will say, what does that represent? Right, everybody name here, right? Regardless of if you're on the element or not. This is pardon me. All right, let's go. Ready, right, answer? All right, let's go. Right, so let's start with the reflection matrices, head of reflection. You'll see them there. Right, we can't escape, we have to learn them all. You can figure them out because all of them are either ones and zeros. You just have to figure out where they sign it. Right? You can kind of figure them out after a while. We had to use them for a while. Right? So those are the matrices for reflection. X-axis, y-axis, origin, y equals to x, y equals to minus x. Go ahead, write them down, try and learn them one time. Write them out before I get them. Let's go. Right. Right? Copy down all the matrices. Hey, class goes next week. No week after. Yeah, after we got half 12. We got 12. Huh? So our fucking start actually start. All right, so we have to learn all these matrices, huh? No shortcuts. But do you all recognize the difference between the reflection in X and reflection in Y? Basically, it's the same except where the minus sign is, right? You'll see that? So that's the way you kind of learn it. Right? Look at where the sign is. That's good. Good. Why not? It's not. Why did it stop? It's not. Where 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to give it. I want to give it long. So you have to show on the short. Long pool. But write every single one, every single solution. Okay. So we are looking at that before the time and just see about right. Right. Let's say we can adopt the. I don't know. Right, and I'll see another miss. There's another mistake in this one here. That should be 0, 1, 1, 0. I've changed that, right? Alright. So next one. So those are the matrices there for reflection. Enlargement is this one. Enlargement is one on top. Right? So if it's an enlargement by 2, it will be 2002. If it's an enlargement by a factor of 4, it will be 4004. Alright? Alright, I'll explain again. So alright. Write this like this. If it's an enlargement by scale factor of k, you write it like this: k 0 0 k. Right? So if it's a scale factor of 2, for example, it will be 2002. That's all, right? If it's a scale factor of 9, it will be 9009. All right? That's all. Copy that down. Enlargement by a scale factor of k. All right, next one. Next one is rotation. Rotation. Right? I am not using the one on this note, right? Right, the rotation I am using a deal. Does you see that? No? Right, those two. Rotation clockwise, anti-clockwise. Write it down quick. Quick. Right, so that rotation, 90 degrees rotation, counterclockwise. Right, so the big problem with this is you have to learn it, right? So I'll put them in a group and test you out the following week, right? Vaya por el novio viene. Upside up. Next two. I can change it. No. Next one. Next two. Well, you just practice 1, 2. And you can do that one. Next one. Anybody recognize 180?
Yeah.
Well, all similar. Look at the signs, right?
That is reflection body, why the like
Close. But you're all close, huh?
reflection body origin.
No, remember, I changed that one, right? Yeah. But what's the signs?
The reflection body origin.
So what's the sign? It's the same thing about the origin? Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's it. 180, 180. Yeah.
So yeah.
Sorry, I forget. I went in the wrong direction. 180 will be on the opposite. Right. Jeremy. You recognize rotation around 180. It looks like anything from before. Rotation around 100. Rotation of 180. Does it look like anything from before? Right, look back at the equations, you know. Oh, okay. Rotation of 180 is similar to something. You get to it up. Reflection about the origin, nice. So that's one less you have to do. But whatever the same now. Yeah, with one less to go. All right, so those are all the matrices they need to do. Right, question time. Right, so again, All right, ready? Let's go. Let us begin. Ready, let's go. Right, let's start with 2013. Take a little read. Right, John 2013, number 11. We can't see. We can't see, go on the topic by topic, right? Take a little read. What? Right, take a little read and find the image. How are we going to get the image? How are we going to get the image that you pick on Tyler? Tyler, how are we getting the image, right? They gave you the transformation and they give you the object, 5, 4. They give you the matrix K and they give you the point. How are you getting it? Multiply transformation by the object. Very good. Go ahead. Do your thing. See if you can figure out part 1 and then part 2 out. Or you'll do good math. Take all the time. All right, so let's see if we get it true. Yeah. Right, so how do we get an image? Starting with the image, I'll call it P prime, right? I'll call the image P prime. Because P is point and prime means image. It's called image, but P prime. I give an image of P that would be. Say multiply by 5, 4. So when you multiply, you get minus 4, 5.
Yes.
Anybody get that?
Yes. Yeah.
Minus 4, 5. You just find the image here. The image of a point. They gave us the image earlier. The image is 5, 4. So we had to go the other way around. Sorry. Sorry about that. Right? They want us to find P. That's why I must be the question, right? Sorry about that. So what you have to do first, you have to find the inverse. Right? Sorry about that. Find the inverse of that. So find J inverse. And then multiply that by 5, 4. Sorry about that. Right? So J inverse. Can we figure out? Come on, once you get to J inverse. Take your time and find J inverse. And then find the object. Right, find the inverse and then multiply it by 5, 4 and tell me what you get. Anybody got that for the inverse? 0, 1 minus 1, 0. Yeah, good. Multiply it by 5, 4, tell me what you get. Right, multiply by 5, 4 and tell me what you get. Everybody follow why I found the inverse, right? Why I found the inverse? Because I want to get the object and they gave me the image, right? Right? When you multiply, I got 4 minus 5.
That's it. Yeah.
Everybody else got that? 4 minus 5?
That's it.
Yeah. Right, take your time, row by column, row by column. Then they said write down H, a 2 by 2 for an enlargement by a scale factor of 3. What would H be? What would H be? Who the click on scenario? What would H be? enlargement by a scale factor of 3. What's the example I gave you? What would it be? Ashton, help them quick. What would the scale factor be? I gave you an example with a scale factor of 2. Can I change the number? What is it going to be? Yeah, husband. 3003. Right. Part two. Part two is a little more working. Determine the coordinates of 5 minus 7 on the combined transformation of H, then by G. I'll give you some ideas. Nathan. Finish. Part two. How are we doing that? Multiply H by. Okay, yeah. You can multiply H by J or you can take H, multiply it by 5 minus 7. That'll give you the first transformation. And then multiply it by G. And you get your answer. Right? It's totally up to you. You can multiply H and J and then multiply the point or do them together. Do them separately, I mean. Do that, need. Right? Do that quick next time. Right? So multiply them all together. Oh. Right, multiply it out. Let's see what you got. I am getting 15 minus 21. Sorry. So you get positive. 30 by 57 is 15, 0. 3 by 57 is 0 minus 21. So I got a 15 minus 21. Right? And then you multiplying that by 0 minus 110. Right? So my final answer is 2150. That's okay? I know the question did not ask you, but what is G? G is what? What transformation is G? What transformation is G? What should get the back at all? What transformation is G? Huh? A rotation of? All right, or rotation of 90. What should get?
90 degree anti-clockwise.
Yeah, 90 degree anti-clockwise, right? Or 270 counterclockwise. I mean, clockwise. Okay, let's get one more now. So next week I'll be reviewing and doing questions on matrices and vectors. All right. That's the trick. So next week in questions alone I'll do it, right? So please review the work, right? And next week we can do one more now. Do the one on top, Jan 2017. Right, here's where your knowledge of transformation will come in. Jan 2017. Jan 2017. Right, so here's where your knowledge will come in, right? Look at P and look at Q and you figure out your answer. You don't have to go and multiply and solve simultaneously as well. Look at P and look at Q. What type of transformation is that? X value stay the same and the Y value change sign. Reflection in the, watch it good. Reflection in the x-axis. Okay? Right? So by just learning the transformation, you would have recognized that to go from here to here is a reflection in x-axis. So the answer is what?
1 minus.
Sorry? Well, 1, 0, 0 minus. Yeah. That's okay? 1, 0, 0 minus 1. So if you learn it, you can do it like that. But if you don't know it, what you'll have to do, you'll have to multiply C0, 0D. You'll have to multiply it by 2, 3. And maybe answer that. So you'll have to do a little maths, right? Multiply it out, you'll get 2C is 2, so C is 1. Then multiply this by this, and you will get 3D is minus 3, D is minus 1. So if you do memorize and if you do recognize transformation, you can work it out. Everybody okay with that? Right? And well, you can describe fully, and then well, you can multiply. How do you go? Right? Last question before you go. How do you do part 4? Think about it. I'm going to pick on somebody. Think about it. I want to pick on somebody on. What should let's say about it? What if we can pick on?
Adrian.
Who? Nigerian Senators. Barona here in this club. Did you pick on? That's the Harold do like pick on who looking like dinner there. I find Annalie give trouble. Annalie. Annalie. What is part 4? How do you map Q on the P? How do you map Q on the P? That's part 4. Right? Remember, part 2 is just multiplying, part 3 is a reflection in the x, right? Annalie. Annalie said the inverse is a question mark. Is that correct? Find the inverse. Alessandra. So go from Q to P, find the inverse. Alright, yes. Okay, so find the inverse and we're done.